All right, good afternoon. Welcome back here to Trader Minute. Great to have you aboard. Time to go exit Chevron here, hitting our time stop, and so yeah, just time to go. It's in the red, so backing out of this at 280 is my fill price. So we'll go update it on the spreadsheet here in a moment, but out of Chevron at 280, got in at $3, out at 280. It'll go down as kind of a whatever type of trade. Nothing, nothing too major, but never any fun to have to take a loss there. But out of Chevron here, 280. It's been sitting in the green pretty much since we entered it, but decided to change its mind here a little bit today, along with oil and a lot of the other stocks within the energy sector. So that leaves us here with Target, and leaves us here with Intel. Target option price here, 182. And Intel option price is, let's see, 350. All right, so we have 350 and 182. Let's get those filled in here. And there we sit. Now, Target, the price of the stock here on Target is currently 86.80. Our stop level here is 86.07. So I am holding Target here into the close here today, and it's down about $700 and not very pretty there, but is still well within the parameters there of the trade. You'll notice that the option on Target, a little more risk, a little more reward potential, in terms of the delta, simply because we don't have to deal with earnings during the life cycle of the option. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Where it helps you if this trade goes your way, it hurts you if it goes against you, compared to kind of what we've been in here of late. But running here with that. So out of Chevron, last few trades we've just kind of been dinking around. Really haven't gone anywhere. 200 gain, 700 gain, 600, 700 gain. Bank of America, was about 1,300 gain there on it, $1,400 gain on that. And then $700 between Disney and Under Armour. $200 loss on Chevron. Intel, we're up $1,700, down $700 here on Target. So we're still sitting with some strong gains here, but a little off the highs that we have had here of the highs we saw Friday, and then even this morning, because this morning Target was actually sitting higher. It's had a kind of a midday sell. If you've never traded Target before, it probably looks like a big move. It's not, hasn't even started. You can see what the volume looks like. In fact, across the board out there in the market today, this is what the volume looks like. It's pretty light, pretty nominal, and not indicative of any kind of real massive change that is going on there. Now, I really thought EOG was going to trigger bearish here today, and it hasn't. So no new signals materializing. We talked about Alcoa this morning, possibility of a signal. The consolidation risk on both U.S. Steel and Alcoa is still very high, so no new trigger to deal with here with either of those. And so no new triggers this morning, no new triggers here this afternoon. So that's going to leave us going into the close here today with some cash and ready to strike on the next signals. And then a position on Target and a position on Intel that has been trimmed. Okay. All right. Now, earlier today, I jumped on kind of in between, the times I get on to talk about the challenge and what's going on with the challenge. And I jumped on to talk about some of the emotions of trading. And I've had some interesting comments back since that. Just yeah, so I'll leave them at interesting. But my comments were not directed at any one person. They were not directed at even any two people. This weekend, the comments that came to me were quite interesting. I asked Jason. I said, "What is Jupiter in retrograde or something?" Simply because there was just a lot of emotion. Just a lot of emotion, and kind of emotional things being said, as far as, well, my gut, and what if it loses, and just that kind of stuff. That is, when you start to read it, immediately okay, this is emotional. This is something that is not very rational, right? One comment came in and basically said, "Well, I entered the trade, so it's the kiss of death," right? Those types of things, right? And so, jumped on, talked about it, the emotions of things, and as you know, we are working on another iteration of the site to update everything, with the challenge being, driven by the algorithm, with the hard, fast rules in place. We are looking to add a place with some discussion on the emotions of trading, and not so much the emotions of trading, but how the emotions of trading apply to the challenge. And so they're going to take that video I did this morning, and take the concepts there, and put them into the site for the next iteration here, that hopefully will be out in a few months. If you do want to check that out, go ahead and check that out. I did also add it to the video recordings. Also, all the video links have been populated here. Those weren't populated last week, but they are all in there now. And then the video for the emotions of trading is added there to it here at 7:15 supplement. I don't quite know what else to call it there. I guess call it a whole bunch of other things, but anyway. It is there. Okay. Market here today, just kind of overall market, sitting here pretty darn flat. Just no real range on it, no real up, no real down, just kind of hanging out. And that has been kind of the nature of the market that we have seen of late. And I know it's sold off the first minute, and just really hasn't gone anywhere. Volumes are very light. What does that mean? It typically means for the market as a whole, there's no real change that is taking place. It doesn't mean some stocks aren't moving. We're seeing plenty of differential out there. Today, you can go out, take a look at a Caterpillar, up 1%. Then you go look at a JP Morgan, down 1%, right? And, two Dow components, two Dow stocks, and, both going very different directions with some magnitude that the market itself, would not suggest here today, right? You wouldn't expect to have, some of the bigger Dow components making some of those moves, but that's what we see, out there today. We do have small caps lagging here today. They are definitely lagging. Tech leading here just a little bit. But, as far as how it's changing the overall metrics, it really isn't. We have oil, which, really kind of started to sell off this morning, and, is sitting at its lows here for the day. So, just the same old market, right? And, it's different stuff to move each and every day. And we're not seeing a lot of, real massive trends, emerge and form that are seeing big follow-throughs associated with them. We're getting trend signals, right? We're getting some. In fact, we had one on Honeywell last week, and here we go, boom, reversing on down here today. We had one on Caterpillars, the two, and that pushing on up. So there's a lot of differential, and even with a lot of this, an element of randomness that we are seeing in just some of the price action. And heading into earnings season, that's not all too uncommon. That's not all too unexpected here. Just something that we have seen many, many times. This one I'm really interested in. Here's Netflix. It's really struggled the last couple of days, selling off ahead of its earnings here. We've seen a lot of worries about Netflix going into earnings, and we're seeing some of that get sold off here before the earnings a little bit later on this week. We saw Citigroup earnings, and they've basically done what they've killed the option traders, right? If you're in calls on Citigroup, if you're in puts on Citigroup going into today, you're very disappointed that you watched all the time premium get sucked out and the volatility premium gets sucked out, but the stock really just not go anywhere. If you're a short option player, you're absolutely loving it, right? So we talked this morning about some of the things coming up in the market this week. Just the inundation of the Fed. A lot of Fed speak here this week, and then the start of earnings season. So going to be exciting. A lot of different things going on. But as far as how it affects the challenge, we'll continue to run the challenge just like we have for the last 6 to 8 weeks, and keep on plotting forward here. Thanks for hopping on. Have yourselves a fantastic afternoon, and we'll talk to you later. Take care.